My favorite Moishe House event is definitely Shabbat dinner.
We did this American-themed Shabbat dinner.
Global Hunger Shabbat.
The first Shabbat dinner.
We girls love clothing swaps.
We started this thing called the DC Design Workshop.
Those are my favorite events that bring people together to talk about something that's really meaningful.
My favorite Moishe House event is Feast.
My favorite Moishe House event was Mimuna.
I think the most important thing is that we are together and share some time.
Well, my favorite Moishe House event is all the events.
I first got introduced to philanthropy when I was 19 years old. I was at Hillel Shabbat dinner, and an 80-year-old man sat at the same table as me. I hadn't met him before, and without any introduction, he asked me, what would you do if you had $1 million to spend and you couldn't spend it on yourself? Which was an amazing question that I'll always remember. But I gave it some thought and I shared with him a bunch of ideas I had for building a stronger, more vibrant Jewish community in Santa Barbara. He said no to all of my ideas at the table, but he did give me his business card. After college, I started spending more time with him. One weekend while I went up to the Bay Area, I had dinner with some friends who had all gone on the same team trip to Israel with me. As we were sitting there, it was really clear that all of us had a real connection, but currently we were too old for Jewish life on campus, and we were even way too young for young adult Jewish life. So said, wow, you have this house, 4-bedroom home, and we have a lot of friends who went on this teen trip to Israel. Many of them have moved back to the Bay Area. I can talk to the philanthropist in Santa Barbara and see if he would consider sponsoring a Shabbat dinner potluck. In 2006, 73 people came over, and it was incredible because a week later I got a 2-page email from someone who had come to this Shabbat dinner and now wanted to create a similar home in San Francisco. So I went back to the philanthropist. His name was Morris Squire. When he was a child, his parents would call him Moishe. So we said, great, we'll call it Moishe House, and Moishe House was born.
After my military service, I wasn't really connected to the ultra-Orthodox community anymore. I didn't really have any other synagogue or Jewish community that I connected to. When I started coming to Moishe House events, I saw a bunch of men and women praying together in a very warm and friendly atmosphere. I realized that I have a place. I realized that I don't have to give up my Judaism.
I was living in a Moishe House for a few months at the time when my roommate said, we have this national conference to go to. And I had no idea what to expect. We met right at the airport and we hit it off and spent the whole weekend talking, hanging out. And after it was done, we started to visit each other. We'd go to Moishe House conferences just so that we could see each other and continue dating for a while. Then we got married.
I feel like we knew right away. It was, that sort of feeling where you understand what that person's doing. And Moishe House really helped us with that. We felt like community was supporting us the whole time. But yeah, the love story just happened.
We're trying to create environments where people just want to come and be together and meet new people, spend more time with their existing friends while broadening their networks. Naturally, when you create that environment, people sometimes fall in love and get married and sometimes start families together. And we've been lucky to see that over and over again.
Moishe House has reached so many people already, and it's doing incredible programming and workshops and education and community building and base building. And still yet, there's so many more people to reach. That's a beautiful thing.
Seeing this development for 10 years, I cannot even imagine what it can be in like 10 more years.
I'm really excited to watch our expansion onto the moon and Mars and throughout the solar system.
Just growing substantially even more, going into new countries, new cities, places that are yearning for this kind of Jewish community. And I think sky's the limit.
There's so much room for expansion everywhere in this world. I travel a lot, so I see it wherever I am. In these last 10 years, they've done so many wonderful things, and I'm just looking forward to seeing where it will be in another 10 years from now.
10 years to witness, going from 0 to 90 houses all over the globe in some places that most people don't even know how to pronounce or don't know that Jews are, living in. The yearning is there, right? There's this need that we have to fill.
Wherever
any Moishe House opens up in any area, that Jewish community would flourish.
You know, what I'm excited about is for in the next 10 years to see what other initiatives kind of come out of Moishe House. I think, honestly, we're only just scratching the surface as an organization. And I think there's a lot more to come.
Moishe House is just at the beginning. The first 10 years helped get us launched, but the next 10 years will really be how we place ourselves in the world. There should be more Moishe Houses, more Moishe House Without Walls hosts, more learning retreats, and a whole universe of programming and ideas that don't even exist yet. Well, my hope is that we're infants right now, and the next 10 years will be more exciting than the first 10.
Big things coming ahead, big things.
Moishe House is an organization that believes in young adults and wants to support them in building their Jewish communities.
One of the things that's most exciting about Moishe House is watching it grow.
You can find all the sob stories about millennials and how things aren't working, but you can also find a bunch of really incredible Jewish young adults who are at the forefront of welcoming their communities.
What I've seen is the impact over the last 10 years that Moishe House has had.
I was just immediately blown away by this incredible warmth. We're touching so many lives in different ways through different experiences, and it just has no limits.
At the end of the day, it's their community, and they're the ones who know.